For anyone out there who would doubt the power of the living God or the protection of his angels, truly an event has occurred that is worthy of testimony. I would like to lead off today's video by sharing this story with you. This is a scripture from Psalms. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. I'm sure most of you are aware Hurricane Laura came ashore in Louisiana recently. It made a direct hit on a city, Lake Charles, Louisiana. A very good friend of mine, and also a Pentecostal Christian as well, Jennifer, Veterans for Truth, the channel on YouTube, goes by Jennifer LaFontaine. She lived there. Her home was there. They had evacuated only about 2 hours north, which anybody who saw the track of the storm knows that the storm was a hurricane virtually all the way to Arkansas. When they returned to their home, the one that they had left, virtually every home around it had suffered damage, but theirs was untouched. And that's nearly unheard of these days in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I thought this event was worthy of reading Psalms 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His trust shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. With that in mind, I knew I had to create this mask. I knew I had to make this be the very next thing that I made available. Because we had prayed in agreement for protection for her family. And while they exercised good judgment and they evacuated 2 hours to the north, their home was untouched by an incredibly powerful, destructive hurricane, one of the worst in the last decade. Set fires to chemical plants, flooded huge swaths of the region. And her house is fine. So praise God for that. I made a special point to create this mask a specific way. The black that you see here in the background is not the normal Teespring black. I created an image of what they call Vanta black, which is virtually light reflective. It doesn't reflect light. It's very, very absorbing of light. So anything that stands out in front of it, like this cross, will stand out even more. So it's an incredibly unique creation. Available now, Florida Maquis Mask Store. You can get yours if you want it. I guarantee there will not be another one like it anywhere. It also led me to this, something that was said by Thomas Jefferson. I would rather be exposed to the inconveniences attending too much liberty than to those attending too small a degree of it. You're free to buy a mask and not wear it. You're free to not buy a mask and not wear it. You're free to buy a mask and wear it. No one's forcing anybody to do anything. We are free to make our own choices. We aren't free of the consequences. If you truly are living in a place where you believe that your liberty might be taken from government, if you don't, you can always leave. So, anyway, whatever you do in life, pray about it, and then make the decision based on that. That's what I do. Thank you to everyone who has joined us over at Twitch for the last 22 straight nights. We have completed the game as far as the storyline of both Middle-earth Shadow of War and Blade of Galadriel. It took us a good portion of the night to get there last night. We have a couple other expansions we're going to go through, and the games are designed that even after the main storylines have ended, there's still a great deal more that can be accomplished, and it's a very well put together game. It's got a beautiful panorama, scenery, the backdrop. The channel has been growing over there. 317 followers in, what is it now, only 3 weeks? So it's growing actually faster than my YouTube channel did back in the early days. Now, believe it or not, within one day, the President of the United States of America referenced something that was said in a Florida Maquis video less than 24 hours after releasing it. It has to do with Ivanka for president. I think many more people realized what we saw when we were watching it. It was on her speech while we were over at Twitch, and we were playing the game, and we were having our conversation, and I had the speech on, other people had the speech on, and we were kind of doing both at the same time. The gaming part of it is only a backdrop. It's kind of like music in the background if you were sitting around with a bunch of friends. That's pretty much what it is. And we all were stunned, absolutely stunned by this speech. And the first thing that came to my mind is like, this is the 2024 candidate for president. Guarantee it. And this was one of the images that I used because I thought it was very appropriate. Shows her kind of looking to the future a little bit. And some weeks ago, even before that, I had noticed some of the actions she was taking seemed like they were aimed at the re-election of her father and getting more involved in politics and in her own campaign. Now, for those of you who want to hear the president in his own words from his speech in New Hampshire referencing this less than 24 hours after we did, I would like to share that with you. This is, of course, this is the video. President Donald J. Trump unleashed his secret weapon during the final night of the RNC convention. But here is him, in his own words, 56 minutes and 31 seconds into the speech, live. Manchester, let me turn up the volume here so everyone can hear it.
They pick a woman who she starts off sort of strong. She's one of the favorites. Within a period of a few months, she goes down, 15, 12, 11, 9, 8, 5, 3, 2. Then she goes, I'm going to leave because I've decided that I want to leave. She left because she wouldn't have gotten any votes. She was terrible. And this would be your president, possibly? I don't think so. I want to see the first woman president also. But I don't want to see a woman president get into that position the way she do it, and she's not competent. They're all saying, we want Ivanka. I don't blame them. They want to eliminate America's borders.
So as you can see, did you hear the crowd go nuts when he said that? This was in New Hampshire. This is up in very, very blue parentheses D Northeast. And listen to how many people started yelling and hooping and hollering and screaming when he mentioned that. I think more people than the MSM would like to admit are seeing this. And they know she would be virtually untouchable. They wouldn't be able to attack the way that they attack her father. Nothing would work. For a lot of young guys, you see a girl like this and you get immediately bombarded with the really good looks and it kind of fries all of the wiring, so to speak. But once you get to a certain age, you have that, but then you start to listen, and there's some out there that are good looking that once they start talking, you're like, oh my goodness. But when she starts talking, you stop for a minute and you're like, wow, this individual knows what they're talking about. This individual's not an empty shell. This girl's got some gray matter. She's a smart girl. She knows exactly what she's doing. And this was an image that I had created to use in the last video and I forgot to. She reminds me of a cross between Lady Bird Johnson and Jackie Onassis, Jackie Kennedy. The polish and the charisma, of course, of Jackie Onassis Kennedy with the brains and the intellectual acumen of Lady Bird Johnson. This is President Lyndon Johnson's wife. Many don't know she was a business genius. She invested money and created wealth like many, many businessmen would be envious of. And she did it very, very quietly. So it's what it kind of reminded me of, but you won't hear any of this. And once again, I'm not a paid sponsor of OANN, the One American News Network, but guys, if you're not watching this, if you're not a subscriber of Cloud TV, KLOWD TV, you need to be. You really need to be. Newsmax, Blaze TV, One American News Network. They have RT over there. They have all sorts of great actual entertainment networks. The music is phenomenal. And I've listened to music, on all sorts of different platforms. Fantastic, just dedicated music channels as well. For like $10 a month. And like I said, I'm not one of their sponsors, but man, if you want the information the way it should be, just go check them out. Check out the One American News Network. During the speech, the last night of the convention, most people haven't even heard of this network. They had 17,000 people watching on YouTube. To give you an idea, CNN only had 33,000. And that's freaking CNN. That's how big this network is growing and how fast it's growing. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are like, well, wait, how did we just get to this image? I'm telling you what. With the way things are going right now up north, if you really are in a place where you feel like your liberties are being taken away to where you can't handle it, leave those places to the rats and come south. Come to Georgia, come to South Carolina. I don't enjoy wearing masks. I hate it. I wear one 3 hours a night when I stream on Twitch, just to prove the point about you don't die from carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide poisoning. Every single night, if you want to tune in and see me on Twitch, there I am, full face mask, and I actually have a chainmail hood that I wear on top of it for 3 hours. So just saying, we all have options in life. Some are a little bit more inconvenient than others, but I don't wear a mask when I go outside. If there's a private business that says to enter our private business, this is what we require, I honor that business owner's right to say that. Now, if there's another business that sells the same thing down the road that doesn't require one, guess where I'm going? Just saying. I went back through some of the old images over the last 6 months that I had used. And this one kind of stuck out because it has to do with how the left is attacking this. This was a scene from Colony, the series where the aliens landed and they put up big walls. It was on USA Network. This is how the sister of one of the main characters had used her feminine wiles to parlay herself into a powerful position with the government that was installed. And of course, the main character was kind of a rebel and was always trying to go back to her sister to get intel or to get help because things were rough for him. You see, one of the things that they held out, the aliens, was the opening of businesses. You see, that's what the left is doing. They want to go back and they want to hold that out as some kind of reward for doing the things the left wants to do, and not just acknowledging that it's our right to engage in free enterprise. That's the difference between Florida and up east, Florida and Minnesota, Florida and Oregon, Florida and Michigan. Which is why I'm supporting the current president, by the way, is because he's acted like a libertarian. The reason there is such a contrast between Florida and Michigan is because our president of the United States is acting like a libertarian. He is acting like a libertarian that allows the governors to make decisions for their states. Michigan, terrible decisions. President stays out of it. Let them burn. Leave them to the mother-loving rats, just like it said. Down here, businesses are opening. And, we're going to face our own challenges. And oh, by the way, those people over on the left that you see on MSDNC, guess where they live? This is Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough, right down the road from me here in Florida. Maybe 2 hours. So yeah, they may say one thing on TV, but believe me, in their real life, that's where they live. In sunny Florida, where somehow we've been able to use sunshine, and oh, by the way, to fix our problems. I wonder when this girl is going to get her apology. So, Trish Regan. Many people don't remember, but that'll be something to do research on for the next video. So, anyway, get your mask. This one is going to be one that's going to turn heads, for sure. And it will give you an opportunity to open up a conversation, open up dialogue, and I can't think of any better way to do it. Join us on Twitch tonight, 8:30 to p.m. Eastern Time to 11:30, 8:15 maybe if I get started a little early. The conversation is fantastic. The platform is growing. It's really a great, relaxed atmosphere. And we're going to find other games to play too, but they're just all going to be backdrops for the conversation that we can have over there that we're really not so much allowed to have here. But 2024, mark my words, this will be the next president, Ivanka Trump. Like, share, subscribe.